Hey everyone, real quick before we start this video, I just want to give a shout out to Hero Gang member FunnyWake20. Why am I shouting out to him? He just hit #1 in arena, regular arena, rank 1, 1,619 points. That's pretty awesome. He's now, if you come in here and you look at his profile, he's currently legend in arena. And that's just awesome. So congratulations, Funny. I know it's a lot of hard work to get all these monsters runed up to be able to do that. Congratulations. Now let's get started with the video. Hey, what's up here, gang? Welcome back to the channel. And welcome back to the LD only walkthrough. This is episode 34. And we only have two things we want to do today. We are looking at my revised Spiritual Realm B10 team, which is much better than the one I recommended a few videos ago. So we'll walk through that team pretty closely. And then we have 5 LD summons. I'm really itching to do those. This is the third 10 run that I'm doing of this team. And the first two 10 runs, we had at most 2 monsters die, and it always completed. So I think we're in pretty good shape now. This team is a farmable team, and on average it's right around 2 minutes, maybe just under 2 minutes. The original team I had was Fran was the lead, and then Wei Shin, Jamie, Kro, and Bella. And Fran, Wei Shin, and Bella were not high crit rate, and that was a problem. So the original team I recommended, I just had Wei Shin in there just to basically do his crit rate buff and to survive, so that he can keep and to be decently fast, so that he can continue to cycle and put his crit rate buff up. But I really didn't like how that was working. The team was failing about once every 15 to 20 runs or so. So I really wanted Wei Shin to be part of this team. It's really sad how most of the LD3s are just useless, are just not used. And it's all the, this is the LD only walkthrough. I really want to see where I can find useful niches for all of these underused LD3s. Wei Shin works really good here. I put him on a crit damage build, and might be crit rate. We'll look at that when we look at runes. But he works here, and he's very useful. Here we are at the boss, and it's important to note, so I overlooked a critical boss skill, and this is the one, the Ancient Crystal Orb passive. Stores 1 magic power in the orb whenever the boss and crystals receive non-critical hits, and it also resists harmful effects. So if you're not critting, you're not putting your debuffs on. And so I knew as soon as I realized that, I had to revise the team. So now everybody here has high crit rate, even Fran and Bella. I've always wanted to build a crit damage Fran, and I did it. Also in my other video I had said, Vero shouldn't be used because Oblivion would get rid of his passive. And that is true. When his passive is Oblivion, it kind of stinks. The boss attempts to put Oblivion on twice. It's only a 50% chance each time. And that Oblivion also can't go through immunity. So if you have Fran on the team, about half the time he's going to have immunity on. When the boss uses the skill, it doesn't matter. He won't get Oblivion. I tried a dozen different teams with different monsters, and really I don't have another good HP lead. Tressar is not meant to be used on this dungeon with his rock being split between the boss and the 2 towers. Vero is really the only HP lead I had, and so I decided to stick him in and to use Fran alongside of him to try to keep that Oblivion off as much as possible. And then the nice thing is, if he doesn't get Oblivion and a bunch of other people do, he cleanses that off. The Oblivion only affects the monster it's on, so it actually helps heal the team. So right now Bella's been Oblivioned. There, Vero just cleansed it off and healed everybody up. This team's actually pretty good, but you'll notice that the boss does pretty good damage, and so it's very critical to have that attack power break. Otherwise the boss can hit really hard. When the boss battle starts, the boss halves the crit rate of everybody on the team. Even though my monsters have anywhere from 60 to 100% crit rate, they're at 30 to 50% when the boss battle starts. Every turn where they get buffs, they get a 5% bonus to their crit rate. So when Wei Shin puts up his crit rate buff, they get a 30% bonus, and then also another 5% from that crit rate bonus just going onto the monster. So an extra 35%. So just by him doing his crit rate buff, you go from 30 to 50% to 65 to 85%. I don't know if the shield runes counts as a buff when it starts against the boss. If it does, that's great, because it's another 5%. Fran does her attack power buff and immunity buff. That's another 10% crit rate. And every time those buffs are applied, they get another 10%. So the first round, when they go into the boss, their crit rate is 30 to 50, but within one round, it's back up close to 100 for everybody. And within 2 rounds, everybody should be at 100%. So here, let's watch the orb. Bella didn't... Okay, so only 1 hit was non-critical, and so now it's up to 3. Now we've all had buffs, so the counter should... and this time it was only 2. So the counter's up to 2 or 3 again. And so this is where things are looking a little scary, but then you've got 2 really nice healers on the team, Fran and Bella, and then Vero, once the oblivion gets off of him, can also help. So there he violent procced after the oblivion was off, perfect timing. Everybody's back to almost full health except Kro. But you can see when the boss has 9 stack on the orb, it gets pretty bad. And actually we're looking a little iffy right here. And this does happen, so I don't think this team is 100%. But there we go. We got another defense break. Should be able to kill. So Vero and Kro both do substantial damage to the boss. And Wei Shin does a decent amount. But his runes aren't even close to good yet. So if Vero gets a set of stuns off, the waves are quite easy. Wei Shin's ignore defense on skill 1 is actually really good against these golems. We'll see if he does it here. Yep, so ignore defense killed off the golem. So once Wei Shin is stronger, he should be able to one-shot the golems no problem. And that will speed up the waves. And it would be nice to get... You can see even if you take a decent hit from the crystals in the waves, it's just not enough to really damage the team with Vero's HP lead. His HP lead is just really nice for dungeons. And then Wei Shin is really nice for this team because he puts up a bunch of dots for Kro. So I've seen Kro take out about 2/3 of the mid-boss's HP with 1 scar. And we're just watching to see how many times we stack that orb. And so far we're doing pretty good. We got some debuffs up. And we also got some buffs up on our team. So that keeps the crit rate pretty high for the rest of the battle. So we're landing our debuffs. There's a defense break. Now if we can just get Kro to do something. No, the debuffs are off again. So another thing that could potentially be tried here for LD only teams would be to use Lauren to try to reduce the number of turns that the boss is taking. 2:23 run, and you can see my best time is 1 minute and 27 seconds. In the first 10 runs were just slightly under 2 minutes on the 10 run average. So I'm curious to see what this 10 run will be. We'll let you know that the only 2 monsters that really have decent runes on this team are Vero and Kro, because I already runed them up for Giant's Abyss Hard. So here's Vero. He's at 1,300 defense, over 23,000 HP, 85% crit rate, 183% crit damage, 64% accuracy. So he's on violent shield, speed, crit damage, HP. And he still needs some grinds. He'll be even better. And then he's got a defense with more crit damage is less HP. And then more crit damage, more defense. Damage dealt on win. I didn't even plan that. That's nice. And that's an HP artifact. So that's Vero. Here's Fran. And she's on Swift Will. She's on Speed, crit damage, HP. So it's fun. I've never built a crit damage Fran before. She's at 61% crit rate, 141% crit damage, 59% accuracy, a little over 700 defense, about 27k HP, and she actually does pretty decent damage because we've got, especially when the boss is lower, she does an extra 41% crit damage. I just had this support artifact sitting in storage, and when I saw this line, I knew I had to build Fran as crit damage. Extra 41%. Defense and attack both go up, so when she gets damaged, she's doing more damage, she's tankier, and she does a better heal. And then she has additional damage by 3% of defense. Over here, additional damage by speed, HP, 3% crit damage, and then single target crit damage. That's an HP artifact. So again, I mean, if you look at, so Fran, this Fran is ruined pretty bad right now. Speed, crit damage, HP. I mean, the main stats are fine, but almost everything needs grinded. And some of them are still plus 12. We still have 4 runes that are plus 12. So Fran will improve quite a bit just from getting those all up to plus 15 and then grinded. So if we're already succeeding almost every time and then we improve the runes, it'll be even better. So then here's Bella. She's not even level 40 yet. She's plus 15,000 HP. She's over 1,000 defense, decent speed, 99% crit rate, crit damage, 45% accuracy, which is pretty fair. So she's on violent, speed, crit rate, HP, and you can see almost every single thing is not grinded. In fact, we don't have a single grind, and she's still plus 12 there. And then a green artifact here, but it's 12% recovery, so her heal is better. Crit damage, defense, and attack all go up when she's damaged. This one really doesn't help her much at all. Can we do better than that? So that's this is actually better. It reduces crit damage taken by 11%, does more damage on wind. If she gets an attack buff, it helps her. Oh no, we're keeping this on. This Bella is also going to be used in my Punisher's Crypt 10 team, and I want that minus 14% damage from light, so we won't touch that one. It's the same Kro I'm using everywhere. Rage Blade, 10k HP added, 900 defense total, 98% crit rate, 200% crit damage. Crit damage from artifacts, which this is not a good artifact. And then more crit damage, counterattack, co-op damage. So these aren't the best artifacts, but that's what we've got. He seriously is important to this team. I'm really happy I found a use for him. That's a garbage rune. So 226 average. The other 10 runs were below 2-minute average. So we'll see what this next one is. So let's take a look at Wei Shin's runes. And he needs a lot of work too. So he's plus 10k HP. He's got 1700 attack. He does damage based on attack. Decent speed, decent defense, 67% crit rate, 139% crit damage, 48% accuracy. It's important to land his dots. but he's on Focus Fatal, and that's a decent focus rune. This needs to be plus 15, and that's okay. We need a speed grind there and make a better crit damage gem, or maybe put attack percent there. If we had a really nice fat attack percent, he would do more damage. 26% crit damage there, I like that one quite a bit. And then we still need to gem speed there, and we could gem in something over that 4% accuracy, even if it's just better accuracy. So then HP artifact, minus 11% from wind, some additional damage, additional crit damage. So all those lines help him. His defense goes way up when he gets hurt. Skill 1 crit damage, additional damage, and more crit damage as the enemy has more HP. So that's Wei Shin. His stats aren't amazing, but there's a lot of room for improvement. So we have Fran going first so that she can try to put her attack buff and immunity up as soon as possible. And then Bella goes next to defense break. And so that way she's setting up Wei Shin, Vero, and Kro to do more damage. So here goes Fran. She goes first, then Bella tries to defense break but missed it there. And then the 3 damage dealers go. And you can see they just destroyed that wave pretty easily. So we're trying to get a defense break there. We have a second defense break with Kro, just in case it's needed. But Kro's AI is usually pretty good once there's a defense break up. If he's got skill 3, he's going to use his Scar. There we go, Scar, and the mid boss is down. So that's the turn order. And I debated about maybe making Wei Shin go third, and I might still change that. So have Wei Shin go third, so that way if he has his skill 3, he'll put his crit rate buff up before Kro and Vero go, and that would increase their crit rate, so you're stacking the boss's orb less. So that probably is a change I'll look at making, because I don't think he goes third right now. Looks like he is going third. And I know my Kro is super slow, so maybe it's already tuned the way it needs to be. But that's the team. I just wanted to show that off. I think it's way better than my old one, and that's the only thing I really wanted to cover today. Now we're on to summon. I've had a couple questions about, this is your LD only account. Do you buy LD scrolls? And I don't spend money on that. I think twice I have spent money on the daily packs for the monthly, so that I get 5 LD pieces every day, because that gives you 3 LD scrolls in a month. So I have done that twice before, but I've never bought LD scrolls directly. And I wait until my crystals get over 5,000, and then I will either use 1,350 crystals on Magic Shop refreshes, or I'll come in here and I'll buy a premium pack. And I actually just spent 2,700 crystals on Magic Shop refreshes in the last couple of weeks, and the first 1,350 I only got 20 LD pieces, and the second one I only got 25, so I didn't even get a full LD scroll from 2,700 crystals. And so I don't know if they've lowered the amount of LD pieces you get from the Magic Shop. It felt like they did. I've never gotten that low, but it could have just been RNG. So today I'm not going to do Magic Shop refreshes. The other problem with Magic Shop refreshes now is that there's a lot of mystical scrolls and 6-star legendary runes that are offered in there, and if you use 1,350 crystals on Magic Shop refreshes, you generally end up spending about 10 million mana buying legendary runes, buying mysticals, buying LD pieces, legendary pieces. Since they did the Summoner's War Reloaded change, mana has been at a premium, and so that has kind of changed my thinking about Magic Shop refreshes. until I'm swimming in mana again. It's hard to justify doing that. So I'm just gonna spend this, and we're gonna do attribute scrolls. Really don't matter. Just notice my wings are full. I hate when my wings are full. So this is my new arena offense team, and I just use it for simple targets. So I have Mookwall as the lead for 50% damage, dark damage lead. Then I put Fran's attack buff up. Mantura goes, puts defense breaks, and then just Trinity just crushes stuff. And that's my new arena offense for easy defenses. So 1 legendary, 5 light darks. Those are the toys, right? And then 44 mystics and some elementals, and those are just to see if we can get a dupe nat 5 for more LD scrolls. So I am still utilizing feeding 4 stars. So I'm still fusing 4 stars and feeding them for LD pieces. So I don't do it every week, but this week I had time. And so now we just fused, and those 10 won't matter today, but it gets me closer to the next LD. So even though I already have plenty that I need to build for LD only, this is why we play the game, right? We want to see if we can get new light and dark toys that are better than what we already have. And we're also looking for Boomerang Warrior skill ups and Assassin skill ups. And so far we haven't even got a Lightning, which I'm fine with that as long as we get Lightning in the light darks. Ooh, we got a Mage, Fire Mage, very cool. I don't think Water Perrier. I don't think that's a dupe though. I think that's yet another new Nat 5 rather than a dupe. We will check it out though. Here's another Lightning. Philaria skill up if we ever get her. That's it for Mystics. And we can summon these winds. And we didn't get anything. So let's go put stuff into storage and we'll see. We'll take that so that we'll eventually start getting dupes. I actually had the question from someone like, since you can't feed dupe nat 5s for LDs, is it even worth starting an LD only account? And it's really about, do you like the challenge or not? Do you want to do things differently than what other people are doing? And for me, the answer is yes. I think this is a cool challenge. My main account, I have 2 main accounts kind of, they've hit that wall in RTA of F3, C1, and I need to focus on just one of them really intensely in order to get them higher. So I'll be making that decision soon. And while I'm basically just farming runes and farming grinds and gems, this account gives me something to do where I can make a lot of progress. So that's why I like the challenge. And so we've got 1 legendary. See if that gets us a nat 5. Does not, but that's another skill up for Martina. I don't think she's fully skilled yet. So now this is it. This is why a lot of us play the game, right? LD summons. So we have 5 summons, and we're still missing some LD3s. Jumaline would be awesome, but what we're really hoping for is can we get 1 Lightning out of 5? It's a tall order, but let's see if we can do it. See what we get here. Light Minotaurus, he's useless. Another dupe Kabia could be useful down the road. but I already have 3 or 4 of them. She isn't needed to be built right away. So another Dark Mystic Witch. Not the best. Dark Minotaurus. And I think it's just feeling like these summons were not meant to be good this time. And Dark Mummy. He's not useful. I guess my last tip for this video is that now's a really good time for anybody of any kind of account to really take a look at your dungeon teams and make them really efficient and really safe while all this new dungeon content is being released. So I've been doing that both on this account and on my mains, and I'm finding that monsters I hadn't ruined in 6 months were just ruined and not very good. And now that I'm focusing on redoing my dungeon teams, all my monsters are getting better, and in the long run it'll make your account stronger. So I suggest trying to do that for everything. Just revisit everything while all this new content's coming out, and then you can get back to normal business once your dungeon farming teams are really solid. So anyway, I hope you like the new SR10 team that I've come up with. For you LD only accounts out there, I think it'll be really good once the runes are better. Before then, I still think it's doing, let's see how it's doing right now. It's still on run number 7, so it hasn't failed. Let's see what we've got here. Minute 57, 207, new best time, 1 minute and 27 seconds, 235, 207, 209. So it's all evening out right around that 2-minute mark. And another thing I've noticed is that the runes from this dungeon sell for a pretty good amount. So far, I think everything's over 20,000. If you can make this team really efficient, under 2 minutes, and safe, this could be a pretty good farming place, both for mana and then getting those seal and fight runes that you want for RTA. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe. We're on our way to 1,000 subscribers. We're actually closing in on 500, and I'd really like to hit that mark soon. So if you like this content, please help out the channel, subscribe, and I'll get more videos out for you guys. Thanks a lot. See you next time.